Welcome to If I Ruled the World, the show where a bunch of comedians pretend to be proper politicians, unlike the real world, which is exactly the same. Joining Jeremy Hardy on the red team tonight is Tim Brooke-Taylor, and with Graeme Garden on the blues, Greg Proops. What are you doing here, Greg?
I'm on an exchange program with politicians from the UK. There's an MP from Hounslow wandering around Walla Walla, Washington, looking for Marmite right now.
Right. looking for an intern, I should think, if he's got any. What exactly does an intern do when she's not servicing the president?
Often interns are asked to sit on the presidential staff.
Okay, now the first game we're going to play tonight is Soapbox, and everybody will give their views on the British class system, everything from the monarchy at the top right down to estate agents at the bottom. Jeremy, you're a bit of a knob yourself. Have you got a view on the British class system?
Well, could I just say that there is no division between the Queen and myself. The Queen is on message. I'm in constant contact with the Queen because I think it's important for me to stay in touch with ordinary people. Yeah. She tends not to come to my house because I think she'd be rather overawed by the rather sumptuous surroundings. Yeah. So people say, well, how can you be a socialist and support the monarchy? But
how can you be a socialist and support the monarchy?
Well, I'm glad you asked me that question, because for me, socialism isn't about justice or sharing. It's about hereditary privilege and the divine right of kings, and I see no contradiction at all.
Fair enough.
We must do something, though, about trips, royal trips, because clearly there are some places that Prince Philip should never go, abroad, for example. But people say, well,
he lives abroad.
Well, people say that, you know, that should Prince Philip be abolished, but what would you replace him with? You'd have to elect some kind of xenophobic looper.
Well, what I'd like to say when we come up with the monarchy, I say if it ain't broke, don't fix it. And let's face it, the royal family isn't broke. And I do think the Queen Mother is splendid. 6 weeks after a hip operation, she's going racing at Sandown if she can make the weight.
Let's go to the blue party. Where do you stand on the British class system, Graeme?
What we want to do is to combine the state opening of Parliament and the National Lottery live.
Right.
The Queen would be presenting, obviously, and probably singing her latest single, with the aid of Ball Master Phil and Mystic Margaret.
Yes. All right, well, let's go to you, Greg. But no, I don't know if you can comment on the British class system because you're American, and famously you don't have any class. But what would you have to say about this?
Well, first of all, it's difficult for me to understand how someone can be born to a position of power, and I think that this country would be well advised to adopt what we do in the United States, which is buy positions of power.
Yes.
And, of course, there's a drinking contest to decide who becomes senator.
Can I just say about the House of Lords, that people say, you know, you just appoint these people to the Lords because they're rich and famous, but I only know rich and famous people.
Now, let's go on to another aspect of the political process in what we call it's a stick-up, because us ordinary voters find it difficult sometimes to work out what political posters mean. Graeme and Greg, this is your latest effort from your party. What message are we supposed to take from this particular picture?
Our message is a week is a long time in foreplay.
Yeah. It's not just that eventually we'll screw you. That's not the message.
No, it's not, although we are on top of the opposition. Yeah. Our alternative would be to caption that VAT on fuel, we're having it off.
Were you worried by this poster when you saw it come out of this?
I thought it was an advertisement from CNA saying shell suits are in again.
All right, well, let's not lay you off hook on this, because your poster is equally perplexing when you first look at it. What? Yes, exactly. What disgusting pajamas you're thinking. What is that about?
This is clearly refers to our policy towards the long-term sick. And our policy towards them is to get them off of benefit and into jobs. It might also be something to do with our policy on waiting lists in hospital.
Yes.
And the slogan would be, by the time you get your appointment, you'll already be interred.
And did you see this as an attack on you in the Blue Party?
No, it's a blatant piece of robbery. It was a campaign that we used a year ago. The caption then was, dog nuisance, the Blue Party steps in.
Yes. Now let's go on to a vote. This is not the real vote, this is much of a straw poll. And if you think the Red Party is one you'd like to see form the next government, then press the red button. If you prefer the Blue Party, then press the blue button. It's that simple. And do that now. Oh, and there we have a 56 to 44% lead to the Red Party. Well done. Well done, the Reds. So, the Blue Party, though, are you worried by this? Or?
This is a very, very exciting result for us.
Yes. Well, losing.
No, there are 56% potential votes for us out there. Yeah. I mean, they've only got 44.